Hey everyone, Eric here. In this video, we're checking out the life support from Intensive Care Audio. The life support is a drive and a boost, all condensed into one pedal. We have a few different controls, but before we get into those controls, let's go over the signal chain. I'm using my Partscaster Concierge Neptune. That's going into the Intensive Care Audio life support, and then we're going out to the Boss Katana, which is set pretty clean. So let's go ahead and dive into the pedal. And now if we look at the pedal, we can see that we have 6 controls and 2 foot switches, which might be a little intimidating, but it's really not. Once we understand how they work, it's very easy to use. The on-off for the pedal is this left foot switch right here. And then let's go ahead and just jump into the volume control. That's the output volume. So if we turn it down, we're not gonna get anything. And as we start to turn that up, of course, we're gonna get a louder and louder sound. And next to the volume control is the preamp knob. Now the preamp knob lets us control how much gain we're introducing to the overdrive circuit. So if we turn that down, we're gonna get pretty sparkly clean sounds. And as we start to turn that preamp control up, we're gonna introduce more and more gain or saturation or drive, whatever you wanna call it. We're gonna get a dirtier sound. Now we're gonna move on to the EQ section. That's made up of 2 controls, the top and the bottom, with icons as well. The top is a head, and then the bottom is a butt, and my childlike sense of humor loves that. These tone controls are passive subtractive EQ filters. So what that means is with the controls all the way up, maxed out like this, we are getting the most of each frequency we can. So in this case, we're getting the most bottom and top that the pedal will produce. And from here, we can choose to attenuate each of those in different levels to subtract bass or subtract treble. So let's go ahead and focus in on the bottom control and hear how that sounds. So you can think of using these as 2 different ways. The way I described before is if you have it turned all the way up, you get as much as you can, and then from there you can subtract, or you can put it to noon and say, you know, maybe I want more or less. But now let's go ahead and jump over to the top control and hear how that sounds when we start to turn it down. So this brings us to the last control in the overdrive section of the pedal, and that's this clipping knob right here. This is a very unique control, and it's really cool. And with this clipping control, what we have is on the clockwise most setting, we have LED clipping. And that sounds like this. So we have a nice open sound. It's pretty mid-forward, and you know, it sounds really aggressive and very cool. As we start to turn this control counterclockwise, we're blending more over to a parallel set of a MOSFET and a JFET, which results in a more compressed sound and a more saturated sound. So I've changed nothing on the pedal, and this is what the MOSFET and JFET sound like. So that's a way more flat and compressed sound with a lot of saturation. So let's hear that in real time. I'm gonna stay on the parallel blend right now, and then we're gonna go up from there, which again is blending in more of that red LED clipping. And so if we backtrack a little bit, this clipping blend control is really interactive with the preamp control because the preamp control sets our gain. So let's go ahead and put the clipping in maybe about 40%. So we're getting a little bit more of the more saturated and compressed sound than we are the LED clipping. So now what I want to do is take that preamp control gradually down and hear how that sounds. And this brings us to the boost section of the life support, which is controlled with the boost knob and the on-off foot switch on the right here. One thing to note is that the boost cannot be used by itself, so the pedal has to be on in order to engage the boost. And what this boost section is meant to do is give you two levels of different saturation. So right now, if we play without the boost on, you know, we don't have a very saturated sound. It's crunchy, but it's smooth. So what we can do is we can kick on the boost, and now we have this extra control, which is going to set how hard we're driving the front of the drive to change the different level of saturation we want. Let's go ahead and play with the boost all the way down at minimum and then go up from there. So now we've plugged in my Squier Classic Vibe Precision Bass, so let's go ahead and hear how the life support sounds on bass. Here's a clean sound. So let's go ahead and now hear how the clipping blend alters the sound of the bass. Let's start from the bottom, which is the more compressed sound, and then we're gonna go all the way up to the top. So now I've got a lower gain sound set up, and I want to hear how it sounds when we max out the boost, so we get two different levels of drastic gain. So we have the lower gain setting, and then when I kick on the boost, we're gonna have a higher gain setting. I hope you enjoyed this look at the life support from Intensive Care Audio. If you'd like to learn more about the life support or purchase it, I'm going to leave a link to the Intensive Care Audio website in the description below. And while you're down there, if you're looking for any sort of other musical gear, I do have affiliate links to Sweetwater, Reverb, and Amazon. What those do is they take you to those sites or a specific product on those sites, and anything you buy through those links helps support the channel because I get a small commission from anything purchased through those links. It helps save you time, it doesn't cost anything extra, and it's a great way to help support the channel if you want to do so. I also want to send a huge thank you to my Patreon fam, my supporters over on Patreon. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Also, thank you to you for watching this. I hope you're doing well out there. I hope you're staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're taking care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.